Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ave here and I welcome each and every one of you to a brand new tutorial for the guide. And first of all, I want to say a massive thank you for all the support that you've shown on the videos so far. It's insane and we're extremely happy that you like them so much. And so today I have another one for you, and it's about the defense actually, because we're going to take a closer look on the standing tackle button, how to use it effectively, what kind of things you have to understand in order to not make any mistakes when using it. And I would say, without further ado, let's get right into it. The standing tackle is one of the most important parts of the defense in FIFA because it allows you to gain back ball possession in the midfield, to tackle the ball away from an attacker, to be really aggressive and try to get the ball in one-on-one situations, or even to block a shot last second before the opponent can score a goal. And if the outcome of a standing tackle is successful depends on a variety of concepts and factors once again, and in this tutorial video I will try to break it all down for you guys. The concept of ball contacts is important not only for the offense but also for the defense, especially when it comes to using the tackling button. Taz has done a video on the ball contacts, and if you haven't seen it yet, then I definitely recommend you to check it out first before continue watching this video. It's linked right now in the top right corner or in the video description down below. And you might be asking now, but what do ball contacts have to do with tacklings? Well, I will get into detail about that throughout the video, but I can already tell you that the ball contacts of your opponent determine when there's a time window for a tackling and when there's the best moment to actually go for a tackling and get the ball back from your opponent. But first, let's take a look how to even perform a standing tackle. When you're getting close to the ball holder, you just simply press circle on PlayStation or B on Xbox, and then your player will do a tackling animation and try to reach for the ball to tackle it away and gain back ball possession. The mechanic behind it is that you're approaching the ball from an angle, and when then pressing the tackling button, your player will perform the tackling animation into the direction that he's currently facing or moving towards. You can still apply some correction with the left stick in the moment of the tackling to go more towards the opponent, and there's also some assistance to it. So depending on your player's defensive stats as well, he will automatically try to go for the ball, especially if it's in a good position for him to reach. Now that means that the success of a tackling depends on a few different factors, the first one being the ball position. If the ball is laying open and you're approaching in an angle from the side or from the front, then it's very easy to tackle the ball away. If you're coming from behind, for example, and the opponent is able to protect the ball, then your player will have a hard time to tackle it away because he has to try to get around the opponent somehow, and often that won't work. Also very important is the distance that you have towards the ball, and that goes along with your timing for the tackling. If you press the tackle button too early, then the animation will be triggered too soon and your player will just tackle without any effect on the ball holder. And also, if you press the tackling button too late and you're already past the opponent, you will tackle into no man's land and not be able to reach the ball. So depending on your defender's movement speed, you need to press the tackle button when you're about half a meter to 2.5 meters away from him. If your player is standing or moving very slowly, then you have to be close to the opponent in order to make one step and reach him with the tackling. If you're running with a high speed, then you need to press the button earlier because your player will close the gap very quickly and he still has to do the tackling animation, so 2.5 meters to 3 meters before reaching the opponent you have to make the input already. And that brings us to our last factor, which is the defender's movement and position. It will be the easiest for you to perform a successful tackling when you're standing or moving in a very controlled motion, for example by using the L2 or LT button for the defensive stand. We will have some examples in this video, but we will also make a dedicated tutorial video on this button as well, so definitely go check out if it's already released. When you're moving faster or even sprinting towards the opponent, it can be very easy to miss the timing, and it will also be harder for your player to do any corrections on the tackling because he's moving with such a high physical momentum. Now, to sum all these advice up, we can say that you shouldn't just rush at the opponent wildly and spam the tackling button. That won't work. It's very easy to juke and you will most likely just cause gaps in your defense. And here the ball contacts come into play. Your opponent has a ball contact and this is the moment when he's able to change his direction. So after he had the ball contact and when the ball is laying away from his feet, that is the timing, the perfect timing when you can go for a tackling. So you should always watch the opponent when he's dribbling, if he does a mistake, if he's pushing the ball too far forward when changing direction or trying to run past you, because that's the go signal for you as the defensive player to approach him and go for a tackling. In this example you can see the opponent sprinting with Neymar in his own half and we're selecting Milner. And as soon as we see that Neymar is doing another sprint ball contact, we know that we can close the gap and go for a tackling before Neymar has the chance to reach the ball again in order to turn around and juke the tackling. That's why we can win the ball here with almost no risk, because the opponent, no matter what he presses on the controller, he can't do anything to avoid the tackling since he doesn't have a ball contact to do so. Now in this example, Gnabry is cutting inside and he's keeping the ball close to his feet, so he has a lot of ball contacts in a short amount of time, and we are not respecting that with Manolas. We're just rushing towards him, going for a wild tackling and anticipating that he will continue his run to the middle, but instead he changes direction to the left again with another ball contact before we're able to reach him, and that's why our tackling, we're using sprint here as well, that's extra badly, is completely missing, and the situation is very dangerous afterwards. Now here with Sandro I do it much better. The opponent is getting the ball after a cross and it's a dangerous position. I have to defend one-on-one and I'm waiting what the opponent will do. He turns around and then takes a little extra touch, and that is the moment when I know I'm close enough, the ball is laying open, I can go for a tackling. I press the tackle button and Sandro tackles it away successfully. So here all the different factors come together. The ball contact from the opponent is there, the ball is laying open before he can reach it, I will go for the tackling. I'm moving very slowly and controlled with the defensive stand with L2 or LT. I'm able to react quickly and the ball is laying open. I come from the side and I'm very close to the ball so I can reach it when pressing the tackle button almost immediately. Of course, anticipation is a very important thing as well when it comes to getting into those situations where you can tackle the ball. We will have a dedicated video on that as well. In this example you can see a bit of it because the opponent is on the wing and I'm guessing that he will cut inside because most of his players are there. So I'm already leaning there with Lallana. I'm waiting in the defensive stand, and then when he turns around with the ball contact and the ball is a bit away from his player, that's the signal for me that I can use the tackle button to go towards the ball and get it from him with ease. So one of the spots to use the active tackling is when you're coming from the front, and for these ones you have to be very careful, especially when you're using a defender, because the opponent can juke these tacklings and then you will have gaps in your defense. So just try to go towards the opponent, get close to him and then wait a moment to see what he does, and then if he's not careful enough, if he's letting the ball lay in the open, you can quickly react and sprint towards him for this 1 meter, half a meter, 1.5 meters, whatever, and then press the tackling button to gain ball possession. Another good spot for tackling is when coming from the side and cutting the attacker's run, because a lot of players don't put attention how far they push the ball forwards when sprinting, for example, and that gives you big timing windows when you can rush for the ball and then tackle in from the side, and most often you will push the ball to the side, and that means that it will be very easy for your defender to reach afterwards. Another good timing for winning the ball back is during the ball acceptance. Here you can really pressure the opponent because he has to accept the ball, he has to turn, maybe try to protect it and get control of the ball as well at the same time, and that makes it very hard for him to protect the ball properly. And you can, with the right anticipation, go for a tackle. Like in this example with Fred here, I see him passing the ball to his striker and I'm guessing that he's most likely not turning towards my back four, because there he will be alone, he will have no player to pass the ball towards. So that's why I'm anticipating for him to turn back to his own half, and that's where I'm going with Fred, and I'm tackling in very aggressively in full sprint and I'm able to get the ball. Here we have another example. The opponent has two strikers and I'm guessing that he will play a 1-2 pass towards Bale, and that's why I'm already switching to Benatia. We will have a video on player switches for active defense as well, and also one on player switches in general, so watch out for those ones. And then with Benatia, I'm approaching Bale very aggressively so that I can tackle the ball before he can gain control over it, and I'm able to win the ball back. Even though in these situations you always have to be careful, because if you're playing against good players, then they might pass the ball back with the first ball contact and you pulled out your center back, and then there's space behind him. So it's kind of a risk and reward situation, and we will also have a video about that one. You see, with the guide we try to cover everything for you, so leave a thumbs up if you like that approach. That would help us out massively. And yeah, so in this situation it works out fine and I'm getting the reward of winning the ball back. The big advantage of the active tackling is that you have a bigger reach than the auto tackle, so your player will only try to go for the ball if it's really close to him. There's a certain area around your player which you can't see, but which is there in the programming of FIFA when he will go for an auto tackling, but that's very small in FIFA 19. So with the active tackling, by pressing the button, you will have a higher reach, and in some situations like here with Alexandro, that will literally save your ass. Because if I didn't press the tackling right here, then the opponent would have most likely passed me with this good shot fake with Costa, so it was crucial here that I went for the active tackle. Another plus is that you will be much more aggressive with your player in the one-on-one. He will really try to get himself in there and get the ball back, and you just don't have that without using this button. So we highly recommend you to learn the timings for it and not be afraid to use it. Obviously the downside of it is that if you miss the timing and you miss the tackling, then your defender will be out of play for some time and the opponent will have some space. You will have to try to cover it up, but if you fail too many times, like in this example right here, then you won't be able to do much anymore to save the situation. That's all for this video, guys. I hope it has been helpful to you, and we will have a lot of follow-up videos on the defense. Go check out our channel if some of them are already released, and I'm sure that the big picture will come all together with all these videos. We are working hard in order to make the guide for FIFA. That's why we called it like that. If you want to support us, then please leave a like and subscribe to the channel to not miss any other videos. Also drop in the comment section down below if you have any questions on this, guys. I will try to help you as much as I can, and besides that, I'll better talk to you in the next one. See you then, much love, peace.